Today we're going to go over a tax breakdown for the salary of £70,000 a year in the UK. So let's jump into it. So this £70,000 equates to also, if you look at it hourly, £33.65 an hour if you were to be working 8-hour working days, 5 days a week for the tax year. Jumping into it with tax, on this salary we'd be paying £14,800. Every day that would equate to £57 of tax. Now to break this down, as we do have multiple tax brackets coming into account here, we do still have our nil rate band of no tax for £0 to £12,570. Between that and £50,270, we're going to be paying 20% tax. And as we've maxed out that bracket, the maximum we can pay at 20% is £7,540. Then above this, we move into the 40% tax bracket in our tiered system, and between £50,270 and £125,140, we're going to be paying 40% tax, which comes to £7,300 odd. It's worth noting that the more you put in your pension, that does reduce your taxable amount, and therefore now that we're in the 40% tax bracket, as I come on to, that could be a lot more valuable to look at. In terms of national insurance, this is also affected by this salary in terms of bands, as we were paying again our nil rate band and then 8% up to the 50,270. But above that, there is some good news. It does come down to 2%. So although our tax rate has gone from 20 to 40, our NI has gone from 8 to 2. So it does somewhat make that gap smaller, and it is not as bad as just the tax bracket looks. Every year this would equate to £3,400 roughly, and every day that would be about £13 you pay towards your NI. Still in the red here, we have student loans, which you might still be paying off if you're on £70,000 a year, most likely will be. This would come to about £4,000 a year, as you're paying 9% of your income over £27,295, or 6% over that limit as well for postgraduate loans. It's worth noting that there is no banding on this. However, the interest rate that you pay back does depend on your salary. So above a certain salary, you won't just be paying back what is currently, when I'm recording this, around 4%. You'll be paying 7% for a higher salary. So that's another thing that's worth looking at. Onto the green, in terms of pension, if we were putting away 2% of our income via salary sacrifice, each year this would equate to £1,400 in our pension, or about £5 a day. Now, the good thing here as well is that if we do want tax relief on this by putting into our pension, we would be now getting 40%. So as we jump up in the tax brackets, it becomes more and more important, or it becomes more and more beneficial to put money away into your pension, as you're getting a higher rate of tax relief. So where we had this 1,400 in our pot, if we had taken that as pay instead, we would have only gotten £840, as it's been diminished by 40%. We get all of that extra 40% back if we put it in our pension. And we do need to eventually pay tax on this when we take it out of our pension. However, the premise is that by that time, we'll be taking out a smaller amount to live, and therefore you'll likely be taking it out at 20%. So just a thing to consider. In terms of the net and what we take home, every month it's going to be around £4,000, every year coming to £47,000, and every day 180. So let me know what you think about this salary in the comments below, and if there are any more that you'd like me to look at.